Reverend David Wynn. I'm 51 years old and I'm a senior pastor at Agape Metropolitan Community Church. And I am transgender. You know, when I came out as transgender later in life because it was just too scary for a long time to really be who I was. And so I was already pastoring a church, and I had just gotten to that point in life where it was important. If I wasn't going to be able to be me and to live the life that I believed was mine, then I really didn't want to be here at all. Then as I got older and as I was dealing with my own journey around sexual orientation and gender identity, one of the things I found is that the reason I was so oppressed, the reason I would be marginalized, and the reason that myself and people like me were persecuted was because of the church. And what I've learned is that you're not going to change my mind, I'm not going to change your mind. So as people who call ourselves Christian, where can we be connected and where can we land? The place that we can land, as Jesus said, love God with all your heart and soul and mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. As our culture and as our world gets more comfortable with being lesbian or gay, we're still a little behind the curve on people being comfortable with different gender identities and being transgender. So for some lesbian and gay folks, they don't really want to associate with the transgender community because we make them a little too queer, a little too out there. And there's a sense that we're somehow hurting the cause. I do have a distinct memory of an early moment, and I think it's fairly typical of the transgender journey. I was 5 years old, and I was playing in the linen closet in our home. I was being Superman. And so I was in there and climbing the shelves and jumping around, and I had on my shorts and my cape and no shirt. And I remember my mom coming in and trying to figure out what was going on in the linen closet. And so she opened it up, and when she saw I didn't have a shirt on, she said, "You know, you're a girl, you need to get your shirt on." It was the first time I had any sense that I was really male, but that the world was interpreting me as female based on my body. And I think I remember that because it was the first time I had a sense of feeling kind of ashamed of that. Finally, I had said enough in that telephone conversation that my dad said to me, "Are you trying to tell us that you're a man?" And I just started crying, and I said, "Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you." So he actually said it for me. And what I remember most about that conversation, because immediately I said, I'm so sorry you guys are having to do this again. And what he said to me was, don't ever apologize for being who you are. What I've come to understand is that the biggest obstacle in my journey and in what I'm trying to do and accomplish is always myself. It is always me. I believe that we're all equal. We're all created in the image of what is holy. And I would never assume to tell you who you are, what you can do, or how you can be, because that's your path. It really is a universal kind of experience. I think all of us have something about us that we're tempted to hide because of what the reaction might be, rejection we might experience. And so it's not such a different journey from what all of us experience. I am willing to be all of who I am. Hallelujah.